Welcome to the second half of the Candidates Forum. We were pleased to receive your questions, and we have given 4 of them to the candidates. Fred will start with his answers, followed by Joan, and then Wynn. Rebroadcast of this program will be at 7 p.m. tonight, and then rebroadcast of both halves of the forum will be on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and Thursday at 3 p.m. You will receive your ballots on Friday, tomorrow, and I hope you will vote early. Thanks for listening and have a very happy holiday.
How do you feel Smith Ranch Homes is managing the coronavirus risk to the property?
I feel that Smith Ranch Homes is doing as good a job under the present conditions as it can do. Now, when you watch the residents, just about everybody you see are following the guidelines of wearing masks, keeping 6-foot distances, and doing things they should do, such as only one person at a time goes into the mailroom, and they line up just to get in the mailroom, line up outside the mailroom. And we have so many caregivers here, so many staff, delivery people, and such, and it's up to the residents to help make sure that these people are always wearing masks as they should be, and to help management control the people that are visiting us. We're doing good following the state and local, the county requirements. When the requirements change, we're notified and the residents can change. But I feel at this point, under those conditions I just mentioned, that we're doing a good job.
Well, I think very well, actually. In respect for privacy, we really haven't heard specifics about who's gotten sick. We had a limited number of cases, I understand, among staff, and almost none among residents. The other candidates are privy to the board matters, so they may be able to tell you a little more. I think management has created an upbeat environment with sanitizers and stickers and placards guiding our movements, and many video activities to keep us, occupied, and they've allowed us leeway to gather when it was possible and protected us from exposure when it was necessary. Our meals are still delicious, and the efforts to deliver them are unbelievably good, remarkable. All the staff should be commended. The only issue in my mind is the question of temperature taking when people enter the property. We could possibly set up a booth at the entrance and insist that all workers, guests coming in have a temperature reading daily and abide by those results. And also enforce that only the residents come through the back entrance.
My impression right off the bat was that it was done quite well. John Mora and Bill Boyd have stayed really tight with the county and the city for all the regulations that they've put in. I was quite impressed with how rapidly the management here embraced what had to be done. They took care of the residents right off the bat with the masks and the social distancing. Equally important was how they worked with the employees. They were very gracious and working with the employees who had to take time off for any number of reasons, payroll-wise and otherwise. They were right on that, keeping the employees engaged and happy with that. It's been a long slog. I would say the only area that there's possibly some weakness, but I don't know that we have any control over that, and that is with the caregivers, who really are under the control of the people who are hired by the residents. So that was probably the one issue. My understanding, however, is that any of the COVID incidents we have had here with staff and or the residents has all come from the outside, not inside, which is very important. And it shows that the work that they have been doing has been paying off. We all look forward to relaxing this, but I think it's going to be quite a while. The shots, the inoculation is going to be at least another 6-7 months, and then we're going to have to wait and see how that works out. So I think we're going to go well into 2021 where we're going to be in some restriction here, and let's hope that we then get out of this.
What would you do to ensure the board is sufficiently transparent in its decision-making processes?
No board can be completely transparent in the decisions that are made by the board. Smith Ranch Homes Board Management informs the residents by way of FYIs, Channel 995, and delivery notices when items change or have to be watched. They're always looking out for the welfare, the safety, the comfort, residents' problems, and there are a lot of problems when you have 300 people residing in one place, such as dogs and people not controlling the dogs properly, non-payment of assessment or dining fees because of various things, such as suppose a person had to be changed from our independent living to assisted living because of their health, and they haven't sold their unit yet, and they're having a hard time during the pandemic selling the units, and they think that, well, I really shouldn't be paying my assessment anymore or my dining fees. The dining fees are allowed to go down in amount as stated in our CC&Rs, but the actual assessment, no. And the reason dining fees don't go completely out, even though the person may not be eating, is that this is what we're depending on. So many residents here all the time, and we don't change it whenever somebody changes. Some of the things that could also be looked at as problems, that even people saying, when I moved here, this tree wasn't blocking my view, and now it is blocking their view. Well, all kinds of even minor things like that come up, and the board can't be completely transparent in their decisions.
This is very important to me, and I elaborated on it in my previous remarks. There should be more discussion and questioning of items that are being brought to the board for decision-making. Perhaps we need a new kind of forum where residents and board members interact in open discussion on the topics before them. But at the same time, our committees and staff do the substantive work. They investigate, evaluate, and then bring the recommendations to the board for approval. It seems not so much a matter of transparency, but of inclusion. And I will work to see that our system includes the opinions of the community at large on all the matters of importance to us. A new thought, maybe there should be very specific announcements of the topics up for discussion at each committee meeting, and an open invitation to the community to attend to give ideas and opinions, and that they are welcome to participate in part of the committee activities.
That's one of the questions that has come up from the residents to me. A couple of things. One is that we have 12 committees here where much of the work initiates. The management responds to that. Each one of those committee meetings, and they meet monthly, can be attended by residents who are not part of the committee and have an opportunity to speak up during those times. The board of directors, on the other hand, has an executive session that by necessity is private. And that's because there are sometimes names that should not be divulged to the residents at large. And we can take care of that then. However, following that is then the board meeting that is open to all the residents. To my somewhat dismay, there are usually only about 20 attendees from there, and that should have a wider activity thing, in my opinion. Perhaps one of the things that could be done, and I'm one that really doesn't like meetings, the shorter they are, the better they are. However, perhaps before a vote is taken on a particular issue, we could ask for comments from the residents before the vote actually takes place. That would just add time. I will say that at those meetings, the residents do have an opportunity to speak at the end on any issue that wants to come before them, and they can also comment on the votes that have been taken.
What can we do to attract new residents with longer life expectancies?
Well, life expectancies here at Smith Ranch, in my opinion, are pretty good right now. Average age being 88 or 89. However, one of the things right off the bat is keeping the residents happy could increase their longevity. Participate by keeping them participated in community functions, such as being on committees, trying to chair committees, following the rules, making sure everybody that comes visiting and such are following the rules of Smith Ranch and the rules that are required by the county and state. We depend a lot on Smith Ranch marketing associates for new people coming here and for our advertisements and such. They have a website. They have 2 women that have been here for 30 years that run the association, their company, and we depend a lot on them for how many people, new people we get. We have a new website. They have a new website as of this last year, and with the pandemic, it makes it that much tougher getting people and keeping the people. But we have done things like getting the fountain in the plaza working, our 2 streams running, and once the pandemic is over and we have the golf course to look at, the bocce ball court running, and our other facilities here, things will be a lot more attractive. Smith Ranch Homes is a very attractive place to be and a wonderful place to be.
Advertise, create a website that's dynamic in outlook, create activities that would appeal to younger people, and publicize them in local media. Contests, sports activities, dances, etc., which could pass for news in local circles. Maybe an open house invitation where people could come in and interact with residents and experience some aspect of Smith Ranch life. Maybe we need a publicist on staff, and if these types of articles don't exist now in the Marin IJ or other local papers, maybe there's a way to start what's going on in the local communities.
Okay, I think mostly that comes around to our image. First of all, we have an incredibly attractive place here with the landscaping grounds that are not matched by any of the other senior living places that I'm aware of. So we have a very attractive place. Once we get back into action here, perhaps the activity should be really upgraded. We do have McGinnis Park right next to us that has 4 tennis courts, and they've now marked them for 2 pickleball courts. That'd be for younger people. We can arrange to have team activity up there. It's right nearby, 5-minute drive away. I think the activities that take place here would be nice to get back to for the theater, museums, things like that. We can also arrange to have community dinner, use of the lounge for holiday type things, luau, July 4th parties, December parties, Christmas and New Year's. Probably we can do a little more about the bridge activity, the poker game, those types of things. We can make that a little more expansive to get more people involved in it. That will attract them. But I do think it would be the activities where we're outgoing that would attract the younger set. I understand the other thing too is the electric car charging station, since we're all going that direction, and the younger people with their Teslas, that would probably help them to say, okay, good, I can get my car charged. So I think it's activities.
What Smith Ranch Homes improvements would you like to see in a post-COVID-19 environment?
Even during the the pandemic environment, Smith Ranch Homes continues to do many improvements. We do probably about 50 improvements per year, new projects, and some old projects. At present, we're currently improving the elevator maintenance and modernization program, the largest single project ever done by Smith Ranch. We have many things, many projects, like you saw the deck outside of the dining room being done this year. But after 30 years, many things have to be replaced, such as cooling systems, heating systems. In the villas, the sprinklers started going this year, and people's villas got flooded, their homes got flooded. We had to do a changing of all pipes in the attics in the villas. That job isn't even finished yet. And this last year, we got a new maintenance manager, Jason Fowler, and he is doing a really good job. He's been here, probably a year and a half or so. And I feel that the updating at Smith Ranch, new projects are going well. Our leader, Bill Boyd, we'll call him president or chair, whichever you like, coordinates everything with John Moore and Scott Newman. He meets with them daily, gets the residents' requests and feedback as to what they are looking for in the way of new projects. In this past year, some of the things that we continue to do, and some are managed by an outside architect and some are managed in-house by our maintenance. Things like the outside lighting, trees removal and pruned, grounds paved, ponds upkeep, toilets and light bulbs in units, and just regular maintenance in various units are all done in-house. And I feel that we are up to date of what improvements the board would like to see and what the residents would like to see. Thank you.
My first consideration is the protection of residents. No one should feel stranded or afraid when power fails. We had an ad hoc committee looking into individual generators for each building. We need to move ahead with some plan that will satisfy the need for building independence. But maybe by now, even generators are not the answer. Maybe it's time to think seriously green and investigate solar panels. If not for the whole complex, then at least for the supplemental individual building power. I think we would all feel good if we could help protect the planet at the same time we protect ourselves. And solar now is much, much more affordable. It's a better investment than it used to be, and it's much safer than ever before. As I said on Tuesday, my focus is you, so you can be comfortable, happy, and safe in your homes. If you elect me, I pledge to do my best to represent you fairly. Thank you for listening, and goodbye for now.
Right, that's actually a pretty difficult question, and also does tie into the one that I just answered about attracting younger people. I think there's going to be a hangover from this COVID-19 for sure that's going to last well into 2021, which is kind of a downer. However, I think that the minute we can open up activities here in any way, we should go very aggressively toward them to start the communal environment again. I think it's been very difficult for us to be having dinner by ourselves in our units, delivered in a plastic bag. So I think that the sooner that we can open that up, the better. And though I think it will take a while for people to get comfortable with it again, I've talked to some people who will feel that they will never go without a mask again, just for their own safety. So we're going to have to get rid of some scars here. We have many activities that can be done here. I think Sally Torrance has done a terrific job, especially in this COVID environment, and we need to do that more aggressively, I think, to get people re-engaged with their fellow residents. I think we should continue on getting people interested in the committees. I think that's primarily important, that our residents really understand how much they can contribute here, and they should. I think it's very important. It's their community, it's their ability to take care of it and improve it, and I think that's where we should really stress our activities with our residents.
Hi and hello, Smith Ranch Homes. This is Scott Newman, the Associate General Manager at Smith Ranch Homes. The Election Committee asked if I could do a quick tutorial regarding the election package that will be distributed on Friday. Please note that these packages are designated for homeowners. If you're a renter at Smith Ranch Homes, you will not be receiving one of these in your cubbies. And if the owner of record we have on file resides outside of Smith Ranch Homes, they'll be mailed to them. If you receive this package, let's go over the materials that are inside. There's quite a bit. There's really two sets of materials. There's envelopes and there's paperwork. I'll go over the paperwork first. The paperwork contains 3 documents, all very important. The first is the cover letter, which explains the same instructions that I'm going over now, reviewing what you're voting for, the deadlines, and prescribed steps on how to return the ballot. The second document is 2-sided, and the first side is the agenda for the annual owners meeting, which is scheduled for Friday, January 29th. On the back side are the draft annual owner meeting minutes from the last owner meeting we had, which will be approved at the next meeting. Finally, the most important document, the ballot. The goldenrod sheet is your ballot, which is broken up into 2 action items. The first is for voting for the candidates that you've been watching here. You can vote up to 2 candidates. Voting for all 3 candidates will void your ballot, as there's only 2 open positions at this time. You can vote for 1, or you could even vote for none. Why would you do that? Because there's still a secondary action item regarding excess assessments, which is described in the cover letter. Returning your ballot is very critical because a received ballot counts towards the quorum to be able to conduct an authorized annual owner meeting, which would then be able to accept the results of the election we're conducting today. Once you're finished with your ballot, you'll take your ballot and then get into the envelopes. The first envelope is a smaller one with an orange or red dot that you put inside and seal, sealing the ballot enclosed envelope. You then take this envelope and you find your secondary envelope. As required by Sacramento, not necessarily Smith Ranch Homes, that secondary envelope contains the first envelope. You seal this And what's required by law is that you sign the outside envelope and you return it to Smith Ranch Homes. It's addressed to the Inspector of Election, and you could either mail it if you're outside of Smith Ranch Homes, or feel free to return it by January 29th at noon. The Inspector of Election and ballot counters will be checking the mailbox up until then. Any ballots received afterwards will unfortunately not count. So we really encourage you to please vote, get your ballot in. We have a great track record of resident participation, but especially during COVID, we really want the residents to vote early so we can ensure that we reach that quorum. One question I get more often than not is how many votes do the units have? 1 unit, 1 vote. If there happens to be a Mr. and Mrs. Newman living at Smith Ranch Homes within a unit, and they can't decide on who to vote for or what to vote for, you're gonna have to work it amongst yourselves. And if you happen to lose your election materials during the holidays, let's say, we have plenty of extras at the front desk. Contact the front desk or me or Louise DeVries. We'll be happy to provide you a replacement package. Please vote. Thanks again for your engagement, and have a happy holiday.